Welcome to So Happiness. In this module, we will delve into the hidden reasons behind behaviors. We often judge what we do not understand. Behaviors that seem strange or different can be unsettling, but behind every unusual action, there's often a deeper reason. People don't choose to be different. Their behaviors, however unusual, are often coping mechanisms. They are ways to deal with pain, trauma, or unmet needs. Understanding this is key to showing compassion and offering support. Steve's story is a testament to the lasting impact of childhood experiences. His journey through those early years was marked by a series of painful events that would shape his future. He was a sensitive boy, often bullied for being perceived as different. His gentle nature made him an easy target for those who thrived on making others feel small.
Look at Steve, always acting so weird. They would mock him relentlessly, never understanding the damage they were causing.
School became a nightmare, a place where he felt constantly judged and ridiculed. Each day was a battle, and the classroom a battlefield where he was always on the losing side.
Why can't they just leave me alone? He would cry out in frustration, his pleas falling on deaf ears.
The bullying chipped away at his self-esteem, eroding his confidence bit by bit, leaving him feeling small and powerless. He felt like a shadow of himself, always shrinking away from the world. He longed for a way to escape the torment, to feel safe and accepted. The constant fear and anxiety were overwhelming. This need for escape, for a sense of control in a world where he felt powerless, led him to cross-dressing. It was an unexpected refuge. It started as a way to cope with the intense emotional pain. Each piece of clothing he tried on was like a shield against the harshness of reality. In the privacy of his room, he found solace in trying on his mother's clothes. It was a secret act that brought him a fleeting sense of peace. It was a secret world where he could momentarily shed his anxieties and feel a sense of relief. In those moments, he could be anyone he wanted to be, free from judgment and fear. For Steve, cross-dressing wasn't about sexuality. It was a deeply personal act, a way to shield himself from the harsh realities of his world. It was about creating a protective barrier, a layer of armor that made him feel invincible. When he wore women's clothing, he felt stronger, more capable of facing the world that had been so cruel. The fabric and style gave him a sense of empowerment he couldn't find elsewhere.
It was like I could become someone else, someone who wasn't hurt all the time. In those moments, I felt a freedom and joy that was otherwise elusive.
It was as if he were embodying the strength and confidence he lacked within himself. The act of dressing up allowed him to channel a different persona, one that was resilient and unbreakable. He wasn't trying to become a woman. He was trying to escape the vulnerability he associated with being a boy. The clothes were a refuge, a sanctuary from the pain and insecurity. His cross-dressing was a way to manage his anxiety, a coping mechanism to navigate a world that felt unsafe. It was a private ritual that brought him solace and a sense of control. It was his way of feeling empowered in a situation where he felt utterly powerless. Through cross-dressing, he found a unique strength, a way to reclaim his sense of self and face the world with newfound courage.
It's easy to judge my behavior, to label it as strange or abnormal. People often don't understand the reasons behind my actions, and they quickly jump to conclusions without knowing my story.
But doing so ignores the underlying pain and the positive purpose it served for him. His actions were not random. They were a way to cope with deep-seated issues and emotional turmoil.
His cross-dressing wasn't a sign of mental illness. It was a symptom of his suffering. It was a way for him to express a part of himself that he felt was hidden and misunderstood.
It was a cry for help, a desperate attempt to find safety and self-worth. In those moments, he was seeking validation and protection from a world that seemed harsh and unaccepting.
Recognizing this positive purpose is crucial to understanding Steve's journey. It sheds light on his struggles and the reasons behind his actions, helping us to empathize with his experience. It allows us to move beyond judgment and offer compassion. By seeing the person behind the behavior, we can provide the support and understanding they need. It helps us see him not as someone defined by their behavior, but as a human being struggling to cope with adversity. This perspective fosters a more inclusive and supportive community. Steve's journey to healing wasn't easy. It involved confronting his childhood trauma, processing the pain of bullying, and learning to love and accept himself unconditionally.
Hypnotherapy provided a safe space for him to explore his feelings and develop healthier coping mechanisms.
Through hypnosis and therapy, he began to understand the root cause of his cross-dressing.
I realized it was a response to trauma, a way to protect myself from emotional harm.
This understanding was liberating. It allowed him to separate his behavior from his identity. He was not his cross-dressing. He was a man who had used it as a shield. Steve's story is a powerful reminder that we rarely have the full picture of another person's life. What we perceive as strange or different often stems from a place of pain or unmet needs. Instead of judging, we must strive to understand. Empathy is about stepping into another person's shoes, even if those shoes feel unfamiliar or uncomfortable. It's about recognizing the humanity in everyone, regardless of their experiences or coping mechanisms. When we approach others with empathy and understanding, we create a world where everyone feels safe to be themselves without fear of judgment or rejection. The world becomes a place where we can sow happiness within ourselves and others.